RPA infused with AI. You could basically, instantly be able to help even the smallest businesses because you already have pre-trained models that work from day one, right? Just get up and running with RPA in under 5 minutes.
Two things that I would always focus on is, as a business, make sure you have a good CPA or a good accountant, because they're going to be the storytellers and going to tell your business. They're the ones that can look at this business from a different perspective and tell you what historically it looks like, what it's going to look like from a forecast, runway, those types of things.
I do want to have more availability to spend with family and friends and to serve the community and to do all of those things. And really, if nothing else, RPA affords you that. It gives you that ability. So you can use it to become from a small business to an enterprise if that's what you're hoping to do.
It was like the beginning of the 20th century, like when we first started getting jobs, and it was mainly repetitive, put the candy on the thing, put the wrapper on the thing, hit the metal thing. It was all the same kind of, we were fine with that. We were fine. It was kind of, it's ancient, it's old, was new for us then. Now we're in a place to where we can get just about anything we want done at the blink of an eye, snap of a finger, if you know what to do.
If we know what we have is making a difference to every company that we talk to, and that every company that buys in and understands the value right away, the impact it's having is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. It's life-changing overnight. It really is.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We're back.
Like we never left.
Like we never left. Like we never left. We never really did, Well, we've been here. But another update. We're back with another update. So much stuff has been happening. So many good things have been happening. It's wow. After 2020, I feel like life accelerated. Everything accelerated, including technology and business. So what an exciting time for us and for anyone who's involved in business at this time.
Sure. For sure.
Man. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here again, the RPA show. I'm Rob Howes. This is Wilson Rogers, the automation guy. And we are always giving automation ideas. We're always giving insights. Our slogan is educate so you can automate. And that's our real goal, to educate people so that they can automate. And what automation essentially does is it takes the stress away. Automation takes the load off, right? And so how can we take more of the load off? Wood, man, how you doing, brother?
Oh, man, I'm good. It's good to be back online and good to be back live. It's been a while, man. It's been a while since we did this. It's, so much has happened over the last few months, last quarter of this year. Man, it's starting to ramp up, and opportunities are the tension of RPA is really picking up quite a bit. And it's good to see that people are jumping on the bandwagon early.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like what has happened, as I was saying earlier, is things have accelerated. Post 2020, post COVID. Well, a lot of businesses went out of business, and a lot of businesses that stayed in business realized the only way they were going to be able to stay in business, right, is to educate themselves, to get more technologically savvy, or at least get some kind of understanding, right? And when we've been seeing that, we've been seeing a flood. So we've been able to see the good, bad, and ugly. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, we see starting with the ugly, post-pandemic. We've been telling people, hey, man, you got to listen. You have to look at automating a lot of your processes. And a lot of businesses have done it. And unfortunately, some that have that old school mentality, they didn't do it, and they're gone already. They're like shut, and it could have been an easy tweak if they embrace new technology. But running a business they've been running for decades, the way they ran it, they still think they can run the same way, and they can't. And unfortunately, some of them have shut down. We knew some of them. We knew some as friends or as colleagues, But yeah, man, technology is really taking off to a whole different level.
Listen, anyone who's watching this, let us know where you're watching this. Put it in the comments. We'd love to see where you're coming from, and of course, while you're listening to this conversation, if you have any questions, drop it in the comments, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. Drop them in there, because no question is a dumb question. Only dumb question is a question that's not asked. That's the only question. That's the only dumb one. The one you don't ask. And go back to those businesses that went out of business. Yeah, they weren't asking the right questions, right? They weren't. And so, putting your head in the sand, all that does is prolong the outcome of you looking at it.
That's right. Right, yeah. Right now, yeah, it's so true, man. It's people that run businesses, they have to find areas of their business nowadays how to eliminate all special, process or tasks that don't need to be done manually. We're seeing a lot of businesses that are forward thinkers, and they're having their employees just scale their company because they're not focused physically, mentally, emotionally
Yeah.
into things that they have to do to run their business, right? So yeah, man, it's fun to be in this space that we're in right now, because we see how fast technology can ramp up a business, like quick. So it's fun.
We've seen it from pre-pandemic and post-pandemic.
Yeah,
We've seen it from the inception of our company, from scale to automation to evolving to simply automate. We've seen it.
mm-hmm.
We've had a nice roller coaster ride with it.
Right. We had some good highs and a lot of low lows, man. Almost to a screech. But with the grace of God and the determination that we've had, we've been able to weather the storm. It hasn't been easy because of our model, but we knew that if we stay true to who we are and what we do, that it'll soon start taking off and people start taking notice, and that's what's happening now.
Yeah. What's happening is what you just said, something talking about the model. So there's something to be really clear about. We got to have this distinction. RPA is a software, but RPA is also a service. So
right.
we have a real good distinction between that, because what's important is anyone who's interested in implementing any type of RPA or automation technology of that sort, you don't want to just try and go get the software.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what folks have kind of been doing. And you're going to get the software, but you don't know how to work the service. So therefore you get the software and it doesn't really do anything for you. And then you don't think it works, and then it's over. But if you get with someone like us or someone who's credible that can help you RPA service model, what that means is that the RPA will be created specifically for your business. The automation will be set specifically for your flow and your processes, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly.
Yeah.
Checks and balances. And so there's a big difference.
Yeah.
I look at RPA, like we say it all the time, like a scalpel, scalpel. And when the wrong hands, it'll kill you. But in the right hands, in the right place, it can put your heart together and save your life. Right? So it's like, whoa, how are we going to use this scalpel called RPA? Well, automation guy, how are we going to do it?
Yeah, I think we made our model. We developed this model 4 or 5 years ago already, right? So it's been around for a while. But what's been happening is RPA sort of took off in the enterprise world. All these tech companies are like, hey, or all these businesses that have, a tech department saying, hey, just buy the service, we'll learn it, we'll do it, we'll implement it, we'll do this, whatever. We found out that their opportunities that presented themselves, they couldn't take advantage of because they didn't have the experience. The software that they were using, they would do minimal work because they didn't know how to use it, right? So what we did is we figured out, listen, if you're going to develop, there's a difference between just developing and being able to use and be able to develop using the capabilities of RPA software completely. I'll give you an example. Is we were working with this company, pretty big company, probably about 250 employees, had their own IT department. They purchased the software, RPA software. They built some processes. It took them like a year or two to build a couple of processes, right? And then it kept breaking down. They had to update it. They had to do this, just different things. Well, their team is so busy doing other things, they couldn't focus just on RPA. You know, they had one or two people focusing on that, but their knowledge was limited. So they finally said, "Hey, you know what? Can you come here and help us?" So not only will we help you, we'll just take over the whole. We'll do everything for you. We'll build it for you. We'll maintain it for you. We'll support it for you. We'll do everything. We'll do the process improvement. We'll do the bot monitoring. What happened is that they found out that not only were we able to develop a lot faster, but our knowledge and awareness of how to use the software allowed them to take full advantage of the software capabilities, right? Mm-hmm. And the reason why is because we've been doing this for years, and we know how the software works for different vendors, and we know the capabilities. So we'll figure out what they're looking to do, not only now but in the future, and what is the best software or softwares that need to be used in order for them to take full advantage of it at a cost that's not gonna break the bank, especially smaller businesses, right? Once they realize that this is something that they can take full advantage of, it could be a service model. All they had to do was call us, talk to us about what they want to do. We would go in, analyze it, design it out, develop it, and deploy it. They found out that the turnaround time and the ROI was 10 times faster than them doing it themselves. So the service model just sort of took off. And now that people are starting to see how impactful it is, they're turning to companies like ours saying, "Hey, you know what? Help us out. You do everything, and we'll pay you for the service. You know, if something happens, we know who to talk to. We know who has the knowledge to be able to do this, and we'll lean on them for that." So we have a lot of people leaning on us now. Lately, it's more and more opportunities for us, because people are starting to realize, this is something that is way beyond my knowledge and awareness. It's something that even if I start working at it today, I will never be able to know as much as we know ever, be honest with you, because this is what we live and breathe every single day. Yeah. So service model just sort of took off. And I think now that we're building it, people are starting to realize, hey, you know what, let's sit down and talk to them and see how this can work better for our company instead of us trying to do it ourselves.
It makes sense. And that makes sense. I wonder how long it takes folks to get to that point. Yeah, you're right, Dimitri. It's a great way, and it's getting close to being the only way.
Yeah,
getting close to being the only way. It's not the only productive way, But like you said, you could spend hours and hours and hours and spend thousands and thousands of dollars, or not. And all that savings gets reallocated.
Yeah, you know what the crazy thing about it is that most people pick the wrong processes, so the interest and the excitement of RPA falls to the wayside. And then we've come in there and said, "What are you doing? You have this amazing software, not using it." And then we educate them and give them more knowledge on how it's done. Now they're realizing, okay, I see what you're saying. So the software is amazing once you know how to use it. But if you don't know how to use it or how to implement it or what process to go over, you're going to be fighting a uphill battle for a long time. And sooner or later, you're going to feel like, I don't need this software. It's not beneficial to me. And then you'll lose interest when we know for a fact that this is going to make a huge impact if you know how to implement it the right way.
Right. Oh, my goodness. It's like having a robot that will clean your whole house for you, or your whole house. Anytime you want, dishes, wash your car, all of it. It's like having that robot right there in your closet.
Yep.
But you don't know how to turn it on.
That's it. Just think about this for a second. If you have, let's just say, even one employee, right? And this one employee is doing just repetitive processes all day. This person's going to go in every day saying, "I know what I need to do. let's say they do invoice processing. We know that's one of our big, processes that we do on a regular basis, right? We know how tedious and time consuming it is. Let's just say you're working with hundreds of vendors and you're doing hundreds of invoices every single day. That's boring. Right. That's not using your skill set. That turnover is probably high because people don't like doing that. They're doing it for a paycheck, right? But if you could take the physical part away from them, the mental part away from them, and the emotional part away from them completely, and they don't have to deal with that anymore, just think what they can do for your company. What we're realizing is that once people see what RPA can do to support them, their true talents and the true love for what they do, now that's what their focus is now, because guess what? That stress and that thought process of what they had to do is no longer part of that. So it allows them to be more human and to be able to do human things, which is the front end of your business, talking to people and growing that company. So, we found a real sticky situation where we know that we can support businesses and allow these businesses to go ahead and focus on what they got into the industry for in the first place.
That's big. That is big. Yeah. Do you have to do? Yeah. Do you have to do repetitive work every day? This is a question I want to put up there. Do you do repetitive, boring work every day? All right. This is the question. Do you? Ask yourself. This is a question for the globe. Anyone reading this, ask yourself: do you have to do repetitive, boring work every day? So what that means is, let's define that. Do you do the same thing, meaning the same activity, the same action every day? Is this something that you do?
Yeah. Or are there multiple tasks that you do that are repetitive? Okay. On the weekly basis, right? Any of those can be automated. Just think for a second, if you're doing any type of repetitive, mundane, time-consuming tasks that you do on a regular basis, what would that do for you if all of a sudden that's taken away from you? Because what do you think assistants are for? That's what I say. If I had an assistant to help me out, I can get more done. Mm-hmm. What? RPA is your assistant. RPA is your assistant. Not only that, it works faster, air-free, never takes a break, never complains, and works 10 times faster than a human will ever work, right?
Right.
So whenever you're doing repetitive work and you feel like you need an assistant to help you out, turn to RPA, and I guarantee you'll be amazed at what it can do.
Wow, that's the real question.
Yeah.
There you go. And everybody wins. The reason why we ask this question, because you can start to identify wherever you are. How maybe I can make my job a little easier. That's why we ask that question, because RPA really is your friend. It is your assistant. It is your assistant. Another question to see there. Oh
yeah. Mm-hmm. I do the same thing every day. Yeah. Yep. It would definitely save you a lot of time if you can sit down and have a conversation with us about what do you do every day. Within that conversation, we could point out all the things that can be automated, and then you can go back and figure out, okay, if they took this away, this will save me this much time. It'll take this away from me, and you'll be able to actually to feel what it would be like if that was taken away from you. So if you are, have those type of processes that you do on a regular basis, the best thing to do is just to have the conversation, because it's a game changer, like a true game changer, and it happens fast. It doesn't take months for this to happen. It could take days, it could take weeks, just to get this totally implemented and off your plate.
We've seen a lot of stuff in 30 days or less. A lot.
Yeah.
A whole lot. We've seen things happen really quick. Because it doesn't take long. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing every day. Yeah. Once your friendly bot, your neighborhood friendly bot, whichever one's working with you, Once they know what you're doing, they never forget it. They never forget it. And then you never have to remember it again.
Yeah. You never let call in and says everything okay, right?
Right.
So yeah.
Rosa, how are you, sister? Yeah, man. It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
So the robots are here to help folks. Contrary to, I'm not going to call it popular belief. I'm going to call it contrary to some belief. AI is not negative. Robots are not here to take our jobs. Now, let's be clear about something. Robots are here to take away the jobs humans don't need to be doing. Let's be clear about that. There's things that we should be doing using our humanism. There's certain things that robots cannot do that we should be doing, like building relationships and all kind of things of that nature, right? Or whatever you're going to do on the front end for the business. So many things. So we got to start looking at this as a support system and not as a threat. And once you shift that paradigm in your mind, now you actually are open to the possibility of really seeing what's next, man.
Yeah, you know what? That reminds me. I was on a round table not too long ago, and we were talking about automation taking over jobs. And there was a young person. I won't say young. There was a person that had years of experience, and they were saying, "I don't like AI. I don't like automation because they're taking away the jobs that we've been working so hard to do, and I've been doing this for 20 years or whatever, and it's taking that away from me. And now what I'm going to do?"
Mm-hmm.
So I asked them what they did. They told me that what the position was. It was a repetitive type process, title.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Did you wake up one day and say that's what you want to do for the rest of your life? Did you say, hey, I want to graduate and I want to do repetitive work every single day and never, this is what I want to do?" No one, I've never heard anybody say that. They've always wanted to be something else, whether it's a doctor, a lawyer, athlete, astronaut, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
They never said, oh, you know what? I want to sit behind a desk and do work all day. I never heard that.
Yeah.
So when you were saying these are jobs that no one wants to do, they don't want to do it. They have to do it because they know that, hey, this is going to be a paycheck. But once you realize that you're better than that and you have more talent, you have more skills and more opportunities, that goes out the window, right? So being able to implement automation into what you're doing will allow your vision and your creativity to go to a whole different level, because you don't have a vision or creativity when you're stuck behind a computer all day long.
Oh man.
Right. So to walk away from that and think outside, be able to use creative thinking now, and be able to service people the right way is a game changer. That's what people go to, want to do. They want to help people. They want to service people. They want to do things. They don't want to sit behind a desk and do these repetitive jobs. So when you were saying, that, people want to, don't want to do repetitive job work, they don't. They don't. We're just, I guess, conditioned.
Yes.
Say, hey, this is something you have to do in order to have a lifestyle. You don't have to. And the more you understand that you can automate, the more opportunities you have to be more of a visionary. Doesn't matter what you do. You can just work for a company and say, you know what, I see what you're doing. I have the capability to do X, Y, and Z because I don't have to do A, B, and C anymore, right? So, yeah, it's a game changer, man. And once you realize it, it makes a big difference.
It makes a huge difference. And when you said when you're stuck behind a desk, it made me remember something. Business burnout can be so overwhelming. So many things to do and not enough time to do them. Deadlines to meet with time ticking away quickly. Multiple repetitive tasks that must be completed every single day. What if you could cut that list in half? What if you could automate 50, 60, 70% of what you do every day? You would have less stress. You could get more done in less time. And your company would make more money. Less stress and more money? See how RPA can change your day.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
That's
And that's exactly what we were talking about. You know, like nobody said they went to school or they had a dream to sit behind a desk. No one, except for the people who were first learning how to type way back in the days when that was a thing, right?
right.
That's not the thing anymore. The thing is about being creative and opening yourself up and seeing how you can explore and live your fullest life, right? Your fullest potential. You know, when your brain is, it's almost like you also mentioned something about when you're always putting out fires. There's no way to be creative. You can't be creative when your head's down. There's no way to even open that door. And so this is actually opening an opportunity. Automation opens the opportunity for more creativity, more critical thinking, which does what? Compound it. We know what it does.
And it allows you to feel more value, right? When you're behind a computer, that's expected. Like, hey, you know what? Yeah, you got to do that because we have to get this done. You have to run a company, whatever the case may be. But you don't see any value in that. That's why turnover on these type of jobs are constant. There's a high turnover. But when you're able to share your talents and your skills, you can change the scope of a company. And not only that is that other companies realize what you're capable of doing and might want to take you away for a better opportunity.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so because you've been able to show your real skill set. So those days are over. And people that do not get on board with this or don't have or aren't aware of it, they're gonna have a harder time in the future, getting a real good job or maintaining a job because they're going to be hunting for something like this for the rest of their life. And sooner or later, they're going to see more companies adjusting to new technology or they're eliminating these. And it's coming a lot faster. When we first started off in RPA, even our company 4.5 years ago, right? We started off, we were literally knocking on doors, just making calls, trying to get people to talk to us. Obviously, we still do that, but more people are coming to us now,
Right.
wanting more information. They want to be more, educated on what this is all about. So people are understanding, like, I have to make this change. Where do I go to understand how to make this change? And people are starting to reach out now. So, it's something that people have to adjust to. If you don't, you'll find yourself opportunities are going to be very limited for you.
Very limited. We're at the stage in life now, in this part of the 21st century, where opportunity knocks. You used to knock and then wait around for a little bit. You better make sure you're listening. It's a knock and it's gone. It's because life and time is everything moving faster, and that's not a bad thing. It's just bad if you sleep, right? Yeah. It's a good thing if you got on the train that's moving quick. It's a bad thing if you slept and you missed the train.
Yeah.
And now it's and what that looks like is missing the train. You've missed an opportunity to add a better culture to your organization.
That's right.
Because that's what this technology allows you to do when you use it intelligently. Hence the phrase.
When we first started, the cost of this technology was really high, right? And then people realize, or individuals realize, hey, we can make it affordable for other businesses. And that's when they start reaching out to us. We start reaching out to them using different RPA vendors, right? And we start seeing the capabilities. And we told them, get in early. If you get in early, you're gonna be able to grow. We're already seeing the price creep up. It's starting even if it's low, it's still affordable, but we're starting to see that change.
Yep.
Right. And the reason why is because people are starting to see, I need it. And now they're like, hey, we're getting more business. We could jack the price up a little bit more, and it's continuing to grow and to grow. So early bird gets the worm, wherever we want to say it, it's true. It's the truth. And the thing about it, even if the cost of software goes up, because you're already implemented and you're already in the game, it's not going to impact you as much because you're going to be able to grow with it, right? You know that your ROI is already, let's say 300%, let's say even 150%, right? you're already seeing a return. So even with that return, even with the increase in software, you're still going to get a return. You're still going to get a return.
Right.
But if you didn't implement that earlier, and then all the software is a little bit more, you're going to question yourself like, oh, you know what? Where do I start? Where do I go? So this is still early in the game. I predict we probably have another 2 or 3 years before we start seeing a real jack in the price of the software.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the time to really be aware. Be aware. Do your research. When I say research, don't do your own research in Google because you're going to find a lot of fluff, especially from the big guys, and it's just ridiculous. And people come to us saying, "Well, we could do this, we could do that." I was like, no, they just advertise that, but in order to do that, it's going to be you're going to end up costing this or end up doing this. There's a lot of things that aren't told that get you excited about a software until you get it. And the minute you get it, you'll see that you're limited. But when you talk to someone like us, we'll be able to show you exactly how it grows. We'll be able to show you the difference. And if something comes up that's new, we'll be able to share that with you, which we've already done. We've turned people over from one vendor to another vendor and saved them hundreds of thousands of dollars because.
Say that again. Say it again. Don't. How much?
Hundreds and thousands of dollars a year from switching from one vendor to another vendor.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like
that's how powerful knowledge, not just knowledge, is the proper application of knowledge is wisdom. So not just the knowledge, but the proper application of that can save you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Obviously more than that. We're saying millions, but this particular case,
right,
hundreds of thousands just from a switch.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing about it, this company wasn't that big, and they were limited to the software they were using. Right, they couldn't do any more because it was too expensive. Like, hey, we do more, it's going to cost more. So for us, like, no, you could do a lot more with a lot less, right? For a lot less. And then once we show them how to do it, they're like, wow. And not only did we move those over, we're implementing more for them, right? At a way less cost than they were even paying for that one at the beginning. And that's where it's so important to understand working with someone like us, because we know the game. We know the software, we know the programming, we know the capabilities. This is something that we do on a regular basis. So we're involved in the RPA circle. I call it the RPA circle, right? We know what's going on in the game. And for us to share that with our clients is a game changer. And that's why we love the service model, because every time we see something like this, we've already developed something for somebody. We can improve it with new new updates, or we can just switch them over to a whole different one without them even knowing, or I won't say knowing, without them interrupting their day, because we already have the logic built on this software, right? We switch it over to this software, we already have the logic, so we know the capabilities. We test it out, we run it, we make sure it works, and say, hey, we're gonna switch over from here to this software, and guess what? We're gonna save you X amount of dollars every single month by doing this, right? All it is turn on, turn off, and the game is over.
Yep.
And the game is over. So it's just so much. It's so fun being in the industry, because it really is a kid in a candy store. You were on a call. I was on a call with a client, an accounting firm yesterday. We're designing one process. We show them how much we'll be able to save them and be able to automate. He already had 3 or 4 processes lined up. What about this? What about, say, hey, let's do this one first. Let's get this one on the board first, and let's start prioritizing which these are. He was so excited. He knew all these manual processes they were doing. So, okay, we can do them, but let's really map out which is the ones that are the most important, which is going to give you the most value right now, right? And we're starting to see more and more of that. Once they get it, it's like a chip. You can't just have one, right? Well, it's like a bot. You can't have one bot. You have to have many bots, right? Yep. So for us, it's like introduce them, show them how it works, let them be comfortable, get that skepticism away out of their mindset, and allow them to see what's capable. And once they see that, man, it's so fun, and it's a blessing to know that we have the ability to help out businesses really change the style, change the way that the direction that they're going, allow them to see, I don't have to put all this money into this, these processes anymore, or investing in labor on these processes anymore. when I can invest on labor on this now because all these are automated. Right. So yeah, man, we're really enjoying what we're doing.
That's good. I want to thank everybody for tuning in too, wherever you are. Dimitri, Minister Rosa, Richard G, John G, Alex, Steph. Appreciate you guys leaving those comments. And and Richard said, I'm upskilling in AI, hybrid cloud, and blockchain technology. You better do it, man. You better do it. You know?
Yes.
Listen, the man who prepares for the future will be ready for it.
Yeah. You'll be ready for absolutely.
Woman too, obviously. Hello. The person who prepares for the future will be ready for it. And the one who does not, I don't know what happens to them.
All we can do is pray for them.
That's it. Pray and hope they have time to make a change of heart and decision.
That's it. We've seen the adjustments not only for people that have already implemented and they've already believers in RPA. We've showed them exactly there's even more that they can do. And for us, we've learned a lot along the way. We've had plenty of failures. I mean, a few times where we didn't even know we were going to make it, right? So, and the reason why is because and what kept us alive was the development. People still need development on RPA. But when it comes down to a service, we have to sell that model, right? And when you sell a service model, it takes a while because you have to do one, you have to do another, you have to do another. And then all of a sudden you can start, the revenue starts become residual, right? That takes a while, and it's still taking a while, but it's very sticky. And the thing about it is that the reason why it's sticky is because you've already proven that what you're capable of doing, and you've already shown an impact on them, for that company. And once they see that, they know that, hey, I'm in good hands. I can focus on. I can go to sleep at night, not having to worry about this anymore. I can focus on this.
Right.
So the service model is starting to pick up quite a bit. Understanding how it works, understanding how to implement it is so important. And we have a lot of people jumping on the service model that don't have the experience that we're starting to see aren't getting the right knowledge, awareness, education. So it's really important before you even jump on board to do your research. See what's going on out there. Talk to not only us, talk to someone else too if you want to. That way you can see the difference and see who knows what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Listen, the information is out there. Now be careful. Obviously, you sometimes you can get information overload. We can get the wrong information. But of course, information is everywhere from Google to Chat GPT now. You can ask Chat GPT anything you want. You can ask them to write you a rap song about this stuff in the style of Eminem, but if that's what you want. But executing really takes having the proper team around you. Yeah. So, our phrase is educate so you can automate. Truly, really mean that. Get educated. Spend some time really delving within this information and what's happening, because we're in a beautiful time. I guess we can just talk about like where we used to be, like taking hammers, and it just like that's what I think of work. Just sweat, blood, just perspiration and stress, time. Well, we still have that, but what technology is now allowing us to do when we do it the right way is not have to hit the hammer, not have to be so stressed out. Actually make more informative decisions and let things just happen automatically. And now we can actually start to use our minds and hearts and time the way we want to more. It's like it becomes this golden age almost. I mean, it sounds like I'm singing a Kumbaya song, but I'm someone who's seen people in the dumps, in the dirt, and then the sun comes out. And it's really like they'd had a revelation. And now their companies make more money and they're bringing more people on. I've seen the dark, I've seen the sun, and it all comes from education.
It does. And I think the education that we've experienced is because we've failed over 1,000 times, right? We've done thousands of processes that never made it to deploy, right? So when it comes to failure, we're very good. We're very knowledgeable of failure. Tell you that, right? But we're very knowledgeable on success and how to take that failure and turn it into success. So, and the reason why is because we've been doing this for a long time. And that's why when people come to us and say, hey, we're already doing RPA. Well, what are you doing? They explain it. We could already tell them right away, oh, we can help you out immediately because we've already seen the roadmap. We know the roadmap. And us being able to have those experiences allowed us to be better professors, right? We're able to teach this now to others and share others because we've gone through it. And no one that I know of, has gone through more than what we've gone through in the service model, the RPA as a service model, right?
Yep.
We're still smoothing it out.
Yep.
But we've come from a forest to a mountain to a hill to a dirt road, and now we're paving it, right? So now we're at that point where we're getting ready to pave that road and make it very smooth for everybody. So most people that are getting involved right now are still stuck in the forest, and they cannot be able to get out of it because they're not going to be able to do a lot of it, right? So they're going to be stuck trying to figure out how to get through this. When we're already paving out this road from the East Coast to the West Coast, one road all the way through going 100 miles an hour, right? So, we're creating that now because of all the experience and all the hills that we had to go through. So, it's so important just to have that conversation first. I'm not trying to sell anybody on going with this. I'm trying to sell them on getting involved in RPA.
Right. That's it. That's it, man. And so you're watching this, hope you are inspired to take the plunge into educating yourself in regards to technology, and particularly to this RPA, and particularly if you're in a business and you have anything to do with handling repetitive processes or watching someone else handle repetitive daily processes and tasks. Anywhere there is repetition, there is sun waiting to shine on you somewhere. Anywhere. So anything you're doing, anywhere, something to think about. Any final words for the?
I think, a couple of things. If I would like to do this again next week, just you and I. But what I like to do is being able to have people ask questions, right? And we'll put those questions up on here. We'll answer those questions. I think that's going to be important because I think people may have some ideas like, what about this? What about that? But also, if they look at what I'm doing, I'm trying to do an automation minute. We're having business owners or business leaders ask certain questions, and we're sharing those online. So if they reach out to us and ask us a personal question, what we say is, hey, you know what? Put that just take your phone, videotape it, send us a message saying, hey, I'm in this industry. I'm doing X amount. I'm doing this, and this. Can this be automated, or can you help me out right here, or can you help my company out? Have them ask those questions. But next week, we should run this back, but have a list of questions from people. That way we can answer them live on here, and we'll tag them and let them know, hey, we're gonna answer your question live. But it's so important that we continue doing this on the regular basis, on a weekly basis, so people can be more aware, because we're starting to see more and more people asking more questions, and we'll be able to share those, because one question they may ask may impact others. Like the automation we did yesterday, I had 4 or 5, DMs saying, hey, I'm a nonprofit, I'm doing this. Can we sit down and talk? It's like, absolutely, because they just saw a 1-minute clip of what we're capable of doing in the nonprofit organization industry, right? So I think next we should have that. But going away, I said, being able to follow us on LinkedIn, follow us personally, but also follow our company page is going to be big, because we're getting back at it on the regular. We're getting back on the daily basis, on the weekly basis, sharing more information, more awareness, and something that people are going to have to adjust to. And when they do adjust to it, they already have a little bit more knowledge on what to do. So, that's pretty much it. Follow us, keep us engaged, ask any question you want to. Again, thank you, Dimitri. So go ahead and set up a meeting if you want to know more. We don't sell hard. We don't even, all we do is educate. We're not, if you're ready, you'll know if you're ready to go. If you're ready to go, we're here to support you. We're not going to be chasing you, because we know that for a fact that, I won't say for a fact, for most cases, those that have asked questions even a year ago, 2 years ago, have come back for us they have come back to be clients of ours. Because it wasn't a time then, but they're ready now. It may not be time for you now. It may be later, but at least the education, the knowledge is there. So whenever that moment comes where you can identify something that can be automated, you'd be like, oh, I know what to do. I know where to go. That's what we're here for.
That's it. Home run hit. So education you can automate. We'll be back here next week. Drop your questions in the comments. Hit us up individually. You saw the link as well. You want to listen. You may know some processes right now. You may know some stress that you can get relieved right now. We'll go ahead and set up a time, have that conversation, and we'll see you next time. Simply automate.